Cajun crab and shrimp boil on the stovetop. So show them the big old pan. It said you're going to need a big pan with a big lid.
That one's probably.
And I've got some butter going. I don't know. It's
14-inch pan.
It's pretty big. So I think that's going to work, don't you?
Oh yeah.
All right. So let's show them the ingredients real quick. So if you want to just hold that there, this is the recipe it came up with.
Yeah, I can put it
pan,
on the screen too.
Cajun crab and shrimp bowl stovetop skillet version. And then it says you got an optional twist at the bottom. You can add eggs, you can add mushrooms, and how to thaw the frozen crab legs. So, and I've got all the different seasonings. It tells you different versions. You might want to use Old Bay.
Yep.
You might want to use Slap Your Mama Cajun seasoning. So I do have Old Bay seasoning here.
Yep.
I do have Creole seasoning, which I use all the time in our kitchen.
Good.
But I did have Old Bay, but I also have crab boil, which is a little, I might add this instead. So here's some of the ingredients. We got some garlic from a doctor friend of ours gave us that. So now that's the last clove. So you've got corn, andouille, is that how you say that?
I guess.
Pecan smoked sausage. Now we're not in Louisiana to get the most authentic. That is, looks like it's got a Texan. It's got Texas on there. So yeah, maybe that's it. Look, we got shrimp with the shells on. We're gonna leave that on. Corn, I cut, these were long like that, and I broke them in half. Nice large onion, celery. I forgot the parsley. It told me to get parsley, but I'm gonna use this as my green. I'm gonna just throw whole little asparagus. Lemon wedges and halved potatoes. Now I want to make a note. All these vegetables are from Aldi, and so are the shrimp, and so are the crabs, the snow crab clusters. So all of that comes from Aldi. Now it does say put in, if you've got it, you can add water or seafood stock. But I did a better than bouillon vegetable seasoning. I love this, y'all. If you've never used it,
good.
It is awesome. But I will say, a little bit goes a long way. So I'm going to put in a cup or 2 cups, but I'm telling you, if you do this, you got to be careful with the salt because it's very salty. Crushed red pepper, and I'm going to add a little smoked paprika. But first, I'm going to air fry our potatoes in the air fryer, and probably maybe the sausage just to get it all heated up. And I'm going to cook the corn as well. But Tony, while I'm getting this over here, why don't you show them the crab legs there in the sink?
Okay.
So they can see it out of the box.
That's what the crab legs look like. Interesting.
Now, if you mess with them, you're going to have to wash your hands. You can't touch nothing else. Now that you touch that's wet, you have to wash your hands.
I just touched a piece of plastic.
I know, but it's wet. So listen to me, folks. So a lot of people have questioned. I had this in the refrigerator overnight. That is how I thawed these out. These I just took out of the freezer, and I ran them in cold water, running cold water. And so that's how you thaw out frozen food. You can't let it sit in warm water. You're gonna collect bacteria. So these, we gotta hurry and cook because I've got them out just to show you, or I would have taken those out last minute and put them in. Now, ChatGPT was very particular on how to do it. You pre-cook your potatoes and corn, saute your aromatics in your pan. That's all that butter and stuff. Add your water or your broth, either one. Layer the bowl. Add potatoes and corn first, then the crab legs, then the shrimp. Cover and steam for 6 to 8 minutes or until shrimp are pink and crab is heated through. Uncover. Toss everything in the seasoned liquid. Add more butter if needed. Reduce liquid a bit for a saucier finish. Serve. Now you throw on your potatoes and your sausage and all that. And I am putting in an onion as well. All right, so we're going to show you this in just a little bit, all in the pot. So I sauteed the sausage and I put the celery in. I usually like my celery cooked more than that, but it's going to steam some in this. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. And I'm going to add in, not all of this, just some of that right there. That's that crab boil seasoning. I have put in some of the broth. I didn't add all of it, just about a half of it. You can see I've started adding potato wedges, and you can see, or lemon, and you can see the corn and potato wedges, I air fried those. And I'm just taking the lemon. I should have got some of the seed out. but I'm just squeezing that fresh juice in there. And so now I'm gonna let that cook down just a little bit more. Or I think it says on the recipe I can add the potatoes and the corn first. So let's go ahead and do that so it can steam some more. So I'll go ahead and just place it around the pan. Because you want everything to kind of settle in and get that juice in there. Hold on, we're gonna do this the fast way. Instead of doing that one little bit at a time.
Baby.
No, I'm good. So now, they're already cooked, but they're just gonna soak up all that good stuff in there. I hope this works because the viral thing is to do it in the bag in the oven. And I thought about doing that too. And so I'm gonna just settle these in over here to the side. And I'm gonna cover this up a little bit and let it soak up some of that juice. I've got a really big lid that goes on this. And I did peel the shrimp. I thought about that. I said, I think I'd rather have it peeled. So I'm gonna let that cook just about another 5 minutes. And then I'm gonna add in the crab and the shrimp. And this is the crab. And you can see the shrimp under here. I've got them on a paper towel, just draining. It's time to put them in. The shrimp was super cold. The crab is still cool. So now, uncover and finish. Toss everything in seasoned liquid. Add more butter if desired. You can keep adding butter. I've only done about a stick. And I will add I don't like my asparagus limp, so I'm going to add it here in just a second too. Not all of that, but if you want to, you can. You can also do this in a bag and put it in the oven. But I would look up other recipes for that if you were going to do that. All right. And crushed red pepper. Oh, you've already gone.
No, I'm still alive.
I forgot the crushed red pepper. So we'll put that in, and then maybe I'll taste it and see how salty it is or not salty. Or not. If it ain't salty enough, I'll add some more in. That is not coming out good. There it goes. It actually looks good already. Just that if you were a vegetarian, that would be a good one right there, just to eat it like that. So I'm gonna put these here like this. Now I've got another pack over there. I don't know if they're gonna fit. I might have to cook them in a separate thing. In this pan by themselves. And then we're gonna put the shrimp here on top. And then we'll toss it all. Let's go ahead and just do that. I was trying to be all neat for y'all. That just ain't working for me. There you go. Shrimp on top. We're gonna watch that shrimp and see how pink it gets, because that means it's done. And then we'll toss it all. Now the one thing I haven't shown you is this. You can do newspaper. I did parchment paper. When this is all done, I'm gonna dump it and put it on this. I probably am gonna add a little bit more butter and a little bit more crab oil seasoning and throw in the asparagus real quick, okay? All right, folks, so this is it. Man. I think it's done. It looks done. Great. I did add a little bit more seasoning and a stick of butter, because it did say add more butter if you wanted to. Look at that. Look at the juice on that corn.
That's right.
You can see the juice.
Smells amazing.
I know the shrimp are done. They've kind of settled down in there when I turned they're way done. And then I could have probably added them really last. There's a big old clove of garlic right there. Look at that, how soft that is. I should have chopped it up. But I think I'm gonna leave this in the pan and we'll show us eating it. I've got some bowls for us to eat from, and we'll show you eating it here in just a second.
How long did you, after the last, it's been probably what, 15 minutes?
I'd say about 15 minutes this needs to cook at a rolling, not quite a boil. It's boiling now. But yeah, at one point I had it kind of just simmering, but because this is a really big pan, so I'm adjusting it. So you can see that sausage. You can actually see of course, the shrimp, the corn, the potatoes. If you're on a diet, which I need to lose a ton of weight, I'm trying. This is a really good one to do. I know it has butter in it, but there are good effects of butter depending on what type of diet that you're on. And of course, this is seafood. I don't know. We're gonna try it out.
It's awesome. Yep, we'll tell you how it
We
tastes.
didn't add as much butter. There's a stick there that you can do for your guests if they're gonna eat their crab meat and dip it in it.
Let's try it.
All right, so these crab legs here, I couldn't fit in the pan, so I air fried them.
Yeah.
If you want to know how to air fry them, I doused them with a little bit of olive oil, and you can put some seasoning on them if you want to, but it's going to be for naught because it's got a shell.
Yep.
So I put them in. They make their own steam. They had their own steam, their own water that came out of them. $3.75 for 12 minutes air fry, and they are just as good, steaming, piping hot.
Yep.
So yeah, these are done and they're hot. I'm gonna set them to the side since they didn't cook with all this wonderful stuff. I can dump this. A lot of folks might dump it. I'm not gonna do that. It's just me and Tony.
Yep.
If I was here with a group of people, I'd leave it in this pot or pour it in this big pan and we would all share. So, but I just wanted you to see how the different components cooked. And the asparagus are how I like it. I don't like them too. They got some seasoning on them and they look pretty decent.
It looks excellent.
The corn looks absolutely beautiful. So, but I don't want to pour all that juice in there in this pan. This is ideally done outside on a big picnic table with a group of friends and family. I am with my family, which is my husband and my dog.
Exactly.
So let's go ahead and pull that out of there. It looks pretty decent.
It does.
The shrimp to me cooked a little too quick. And so what I would do is not add as much juice. So I would adjust ChatGPT's recipe, not add as much juice because the seafood has a lot of juice in it that comes out.
Yep.
And I would add my shrimp very, very last is what I would do, because if they need to be cooked a little bit less than what they got cooked. So all right, folks, I'm going to finish putting this and plating it, and then we'll try it out.
Yes.
And Tony will post the recipe for you. And if you serve this for family or friends, I did add some Texas Pete. That's our southern, even though it says Texas Pete on there. That's a southern tradition. Yeah. And then crushed red pepper right there. And it is one. Go look at the story behind Texas Pete. It's a kind of a neat story. But crushed red pepper, put that on your table, lemon, and then also some extra butter if your folks want some. And Tony says his famous saying,
No, I'm ready to eat. Now, peace to all who watch. Subscribe to the channel if you like.